mom thought she could replace my father and make me call her creepy new boyfriend Dad, but she didn't realize I still had contact with him. Everything changed the night Derek moved in. Not gradually, like you'd expect. One Tuesday, I came home from school and his stuff was everywhere. His protein powder on our kitchen counter, his work boots by the door, his framed MBA degree hanging where my honor roll certificates used to be. Mom announced it like she was telling me we switched cable providers. Derek's living here now, sweetie. I was 14. Old enough to know this was wrong, young enough that nobody listened. Derek was everything my dad wasn't. Dad fixed computers and read science fiction. Derek sold medical equipment and only read his commission statements. Dad asked about my day. Derek told me about his for hours. Dad taught me chess. Derek said chess was for nerds and tried teaching me poker with real money. His money, which he'd demand back when I lost. The breaking point came during parent-teacher conferences. Mom was too busy with Derek's company dinner. Derek volunteered to go instead. He told Mrs. Patterson I needed to focus less on creative writing and more on practical skills. Told her my stories were cute but pointless. Mrs. Patterson, bless her, asked if he'd read any of them. He laughed. I don't read kid stuff. That's when she asked to speak with my actual father. What Derek and Mom didn't know was that Dad had been coming to every school event anyway. He'd sit in the back, never making a fuss. Teachers knew him, janitors knew him, the lunch lady saved him cookies. He'd been documenting everything in a leather notebook. Every missed conference, every ignored achievement. Every time Derek signed something as stepfather when they weren't even married. 3 weeks later, Derek decided to redecorate my room. Threw out my astronomy posters because they were childish. Replaced them with motivational quotes about sales. Donated my telescope to Goodwill because it was taking up space. That telescope was a birthday gift from Dad. We'd spent 3 years saving for it. I found it at Goodwill and bought it back with my babysitting money. Hid it at my friend Sarah's house. Mom saw Derek's redecorating and said it looked more adult. That night, I called Dad crying. Real crying. Not the angry tears I'd been holding back for months. He listened. Then he said 5 words. Pack what you can't replace. The plan was simple. I'd tell Mom I joined the debate team. Practices every Tuesday and Thursday after school. Competitions on weekends. She never questioned it. Too busy planning her wedding to Derek. Yeah, wedding. She told me about it through a text. Derek proposed, June wedding. You'll love being a bridesmaid. I wasn't going to debate practice. I was going to Dad's apartment. We were building a cake. Dad had hired a family lawyer who specialized in custody modification. Turns out when a parent documents 8 months of educational neglect, emotional dismissal, and unauthorized home modifications affecting a minor's personal space, judges listen. When that parent also has signed affidavits from 12 teachers, 3 coaches, and the school counselor, judges really listen. The custody hearing was on Derek's birthday. Mom tried to reschedule. Judge denied it. Derek came in a suit that still had the tags on. Mom wore white, like she was already practicing for the wedding. Dad wore the same blazer he'd worn to every school play. I knew because I could see the tiny bleach stain from when we tried to do laundry together and mixed the wrong things. The judge asked Mom about my extracurriculars. She said confidently, debate team. She's very committed. The judge asked for proof. Mom looked at me to confirm. I've never been on the debate team, I said quietly. I've been with Dad. The judge asked Mom when she'd last been to my school. She said parent-teacher conferences. The judge pulled up records. She'd missed the last 5. Derek had attended one where he told my English teacher I should quit writing to focus on networking skills for a 14-year-old. Then the judge asked about my telescope, such a specific question. Mom looked confused. Derek said they'd upgraded to a better one. The judge asked to see receipts. There were none. Then he pulled up the Goodwill donation record and the purchase record by me. You donated your daughter's telescope and she had to buy it back with her own money? Derek started explaining how it was cluttering the room. The judge cut him off. I'm not talking to you. You're not her parent. Mom lost primary custody that day. Derek dumped her 2 weeks later. Said single moms were too complicated. Dad and I made waffles the first morning at his place. They were perfect. Crispy outside, fluffy inside. He'd been practicing. We ate them under the stars, using my telescope to find Saturn. Mom texts sometimes. Says she misses me. Says she's sorry. Says she's seeing someone new who'd love to meet me. I haven't responded yet. Too busy with the astronomy club Dad and I joined together. Turns out we both love the stars. My principal accused me of having inappropriate relationships with students, but I left her speechless. My principal called me into her office and her husband was sitting in the corner, which felt weird because he had no reason to be there. She didn't even look up from her computer when I walked in. She slid a resignation letter across her desk without making eye contact. Sign this right now. 17 students had filed complaints about me for inappropriate behavior. I felt the air leave my lungs. Teaching was my entire life and she was telling me it was over. She finally looked at me and sighed like I was wasting her time. Sign or I release everything at the board meeting and you'll never work with children again. Honestly, this is a favor. I'm giving you a way out. I looked her in the eyes. I'm not signing anything. I didn't do this and I'm going to prove it. She laughed and leaned back in her chair. Prove it? That's cute. Who do you think they're going to believe? As I walked out, her husband's eyes followed me across the room and it made my skin crawl. The next morning, I pulled into the parking lot and my principal was waiting at the main entrance with a security guard. She had a coffee in her hand like this was just another Tuesday for her. When I got close, she said, I'm sorry, but you're not allowed inside until this is resolved. Standard protocol. She said it loud enough for the teachers walking by to hear. She took a sip of her coffee and gave me a sympathetic smile that didn't reach her eyes. I'm sure you understand. We have to protect the children. Then she waved at me. She actually waved goodbye like I was a guest leaving a party. I drove straight to the teachers union office because I wasn't going to sit at home and wait for her to destroy me. They assigned me a representative named Terrence and I told him everything. That many complaints doesn't add up, he said. I've never seen more than 2 or 3 against one teacher. The system keeps records of every submission including what computer it came from. If different students filed complaints, the records will show different computers. If they don't, then someone is lying. I asked him what I could do and he told me the union's legal team could subpoena the records, but I needed to request time to speak at the board meeting. I filed the request that same day. My principal sent an email to every parent warning about an ongoing investigation, and parents started pulling their kids from my class one by one. She was building her case while I was building mine. Then Terrence called me. Sit down. Every complaint came from the same computer and that computer belongs to your principal. Every complaint was sent between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. when the school was empty. She had been sneaking in at night filing fake complaints using student accounts that hadn't been active in months. Why would she do this? He went quiet. I don't know, but I contacted the police. This is criminal. I want to be the one to expose her. He told me my request to speak was approved. I had 10 minutes. I walk into the gymnasium and the noise dies instantly. Every single head turns to look at me. My principal sits at the front with a thick binder, and her husband is right behind her ready to play the supportive spouse. She stands and dabs her eyes with a tissue. I want to thank the brave students who came forward. No child should feel unsafe with a teacher. This has been so hard on all of us, but especially on me. Parents nod along and she places places her hand over her heart like she's the victim in all this. The board chair announces that I requested time to respond. My principal tilts her head and laughs under her breath. This should be interesting. I walk to the front and connect my laptop to the screen. My hands are trembling, but I don't care anymore. Every complaint came from one computer. That computer belongs to the principal. Nobody moves. I click to the next slide showing timestamps. Every complaint sent between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. Then I show the security badge records. Only one person entered the school during those hours. Her badge. 17 times. Her face goes red and she jumps out of her chair. Someone hacked my computer. She set me up. You're all falling for this. I've given 15 years to this school. She's screaming now and spit is flying from her mouth. Two officers step out from the back wall and grab her arms. She thrashes against them, knocking the binder off the table and papers scatter everywhere. As they force her hands behind her back, she locks eyes with me. You think you're so perfect? My husband wouldn't shut up about you. How smart you are. How beautiful. I gave this school 15 years and he wanted you instead. One of the officers looks at her and says, "Ma'am, you have the right to remain silent. I suggest you use it." The cuffs click shut and the sound echoes through the silent room. Her husband is already gone. 3 chairs knocked over where he was sitting. She got 4 years, and when they cleaned out her husband's office, they found 47 photographs of me hidden inside a locked drawer.
People who sued a hospital and won. What's your story? In 2018, my pregnant wife Claire and I went to the doctor after she started feeling ill and said there's something wrong. The doctor ran tests and all came back normal, but my wife begged to be monitored. She did for a few days to make sure they are both safe. After a few days, the doctor discharged Claire, saying everything was fine and she was just being dramatic, and laughed. Almost 2 weeks went by, and Claire kept talking to our baby every night, holding on to hope, but she started feeling really sick, fever, chills, and pain. The doctor still said it was just stress and anxiety. One awful night, Claire got much worse. I rushed her to the hospital and they took her into intensive care. They found out she had sepsis. Her blood was badly infected from keeping the dead fetus for so long. It was too late. The doctor had failed to run necessary tests, leading to the loss of Claire and our baby that night. The grief was unbearable. Later, it came out that the doctor's negligence and failure to monitor Claire properly caused their deaths, because the court found they had no record of her charts. In my grief, I decided to sue the doctor for malpractice. It was a long and painful process, but I wanted to ensure that no other families would have to go through the same nightmare I did.
What happened when your stepkids told you weren't their real mother? My stepdaughters Lily, 14, and Ava, 11, didn't just tell me I wasn't their real mom. They live-streamed it to their 2,000 TikTok followers during my birthday dinner, laughing as they filmed my face. This is our dad's wife trying to act like our mom. Cringe, right? Lily said to the camera while I sat there holding the birthday cake I'd made myself because no one else remembered. I'd raised them for 8 years. Their biological mom lived 20 minutes away but hadn't seen them in 3 years. Too busy with her new family, she said. I was the one who taught Lily how to use tampons when she got her first period. I held Ava's hair back through food poisoning when Kevin was traveling for work. I spent $3,000 of my own savings on Lily's braces because Kevin's insurance wouldn't cover them. But that night, watching myself become a joke to strangers on the internet, something in me just switched off. I didn't make a scene, I simply stopped being their mother. No more 5 a.m. wake-ups to French braid Ava's hair for gymnastics. No more driving 2 hours each way for Lily's piano competition. When teachers called about missing assignment, I handed the phone to Kevin. When they needed forms signed, money for trips, or rides to friends' houses, ask your dad. The first week, they celebrated. Finally, she gets it, Lily told her friends on FaceTime, loud enough for me to hear. By week 2, things shifted. Ava wore dirty clothes to school because I only did my own laundry. Lily missed 3 piano lessons because Kevin forgot to drive her. They ate cereal for dinner 4 nights straight while I cooked myself steak and vegetables, eating alone in my room. Week 3 broke them. I was packing boxes in the garage when Ava found me. What are you doing? Moving my things to the guest room and looking at apartments. Her face went white. You're leaving dad? No. But when you turn 18, Lily, and you move out, I'm going too. I'll have my own place. You'll visit your dad, not me, because I'm not your real mom, remember? That's when Lily appeared, and I saw she'd been crying. Her phone was in her hand, and she showed me her TikTok. The birthday video had 400,000 views. The comments were brutal. Those girls don't deserve you. I'd give anything for a stepmom who cared that much. They'll regret this when she's gone, but one comment made Lily break down. It was from their biological mom. Good. Maybe now she'll stop trying to replace me. She doesn't even want us, Lily sobbed. She commented on a video making fun of you but hasn't called us in 6 months. You remembered my birthday. You made my favorite cake. You took that job with less hay so you could be home when we got off school. And she couldn't finish. Ava grabbed my hand. Please don't leave. Please. I pulled out my phone and showed them something. Screenshots of an email chain with a family lawyer about formally adopting them, dated 2 weeks before the birthday incident. I was going to surprise you both for Christmas. Legal adoption papers, if you wanted them. Both girls collapsed into me, sobbing. Lily deleted the video, but the internet never forgets. It became our story. How cruelty went viral and taught 2 girls what family really meant. Now Lily's bio says, proud daughter of my real mom, the one who chose me. Last week, their biological mother tried to visit after seeing the viral video. My daughters, yes, my daughters, wouldn't even open the door. Ava called through the doorframe. Our mom's already home. Kevin found us that night, all 3 of us doing face masks and watching movies, adoption papers spread on the coffee table. Lily was practicing her new signature with my last name. Mom, she said, not looking up from the papers, can you teach me how to make that birthday cake? I want to make it for your birthday this year. I taught her. But honestly, the best gift I'd already received. 2 daughters who finally knew the difference between the woman who gave them life and the mother who gave them love. The adoption finalized last month. The judge asked if anyone objected. The silence was beautiful.
Asked my ex to keep our kids for my honeymoon week, and she called me a bad dad for it. I'm 30, and my ex-wife Greta is 38. We share 2 kids, Louisa, 9, and Ted, 7. We divorced over 5 years ago and kept it simple. 50-50 time, no child support, and we cover for each other when life happens. We keep a small group chat for kid stuff. We introduced partners before the kids met them. Greta married Tessie 4 years ago. They had a baby boy, and now another baby is due soon by C-section. I've been with my fiancée Lucy for 3 years. When Greta and Tessie got married, I kept the kids through their honeymoon and my week after so they could settle in. When their first baby came, I kept Louisa and Ted for about a month. A few weeks ago at Louisa's game, Tessie told me the C-section date. It lands in their week. I said, no problem. I'll keep the kids that week and my week. She asked if I could keep them one more week to make it a month again. I said, sure. Then Lucy and I finished our plan. We're getting married on a Saturday in my week and taking a 3-week honeymoon. It's a bucket list trip, not kid-friendly, and this is the time. The calendar looked clean. The kids would be with Greta that night and for her week. Then they'd stay through my week and their next week, so they would have them for one of my weeks plus a night. My parents are gone. Close family is a flight away, and friends aren't a 3-week plan. Asking Greta felt normal because I step in for them a lot. I texted the plan and emailed dates, locations, and contact info. Silence for 2 days. Then an email came that read like a speech. It said I was the kind of dad who abandons his kids for 3 weeks, that I was wrong to ask a young mother to keep her stepkids while I enjoy myself, that I'm a bad co-parent for asking 3 straight weeks when their kids are little, that since Lucy and I won't have more kids, we don't get to dump mine and gallivant, and that I should figure out my own week because this isn't life or death. I read it at the kitchen table and felt my face burn. I opened our texts and made a spreadsheet. In 4 years, they've asked me for 87 nights over 52 asks. I've asked for 12 nights over 8 asks. That made sense with their baby, but the dumping line stuck. I didn't send the sheet. I just needed to know I wasn't crazy. I also thought about the extra things I do. I pick the kids up after school every day. On Greta's weeks, I drive them to her house because she works until 5, and Tessie doesn't want to wake the toddler. Our decree says whoever's week it is must do drop-off, but I've been doing almost all the back and forth because it's a 5-minute drive. I take the kids to appointments and daytime school stuff. My job is flexible and Greta's isn't. We split insurance, but since I'm at the appointments, I pay the co-pays. When Louisa was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, costs went up. Greta said money was tight, and I stopped pushing exact splits. I just paid. Their little boy is being evaluated for autism and has tough meltdowns. When it gets tense, they call and ask if I can take the kids for a few hours. Greta had a car accident last year, and I loaned her my old car. She's still using it. They have a cat. Louisa used to scoop the litter when Greta traveled. After her diagnosis, we agreed she shouldn't. Tessie is pregnant. Ted is too young, so I've been going over to do the litter box. I do these things for the kids. Still, asking them to keep the kids for one of my weeks so I can take a honeymoon seemed fair, especially after I agreed to a month for their C-section. I didn't want to play tit for tat or wreck co-parenting. The kids need calm. I paced, then sat down and wrote a reply that was short and clear. I said I'll keep Louisa and Ted for the full month after the C-section, like we discussed. For our wedding and honeymoon, I need coverage for one of my weeks and 1 extra night. If they can't or won't cover my week, I'll arrange care on my side and keep the schedule. Starting now, I'm going back to the decree as written. Each house handles its own pickups, drop-offs, and costs unless we both agree in writing. I listed a few extras I'd stop for now. Daily pickups on their weeks, last-minute evening calls, cat litter runs, and use of my old car past the end of the month unless they're buying it. I said I'd still be there for true emergencies. I kept the tone flat, no blame. Then I hit send. To cover my week if they refused, I called 2 sitters and a neighbor. I booked a mix of daytime help and a friend for overnights. I updated the calendar and set a 1-page plan by the door with doctor info. My phone buzzed. Greta replied from her work email with 1 line. Do what you want. I sent back. Plan is set. I'll keep them the month after surgery. Wedding week coverage on my side if needed. I put the phones on the counter, checked the kids' backpacks for tomorrow, and turned off the kitchen light. Now my friends are saying I'm selfish for a kid-free honeymoon. Am I wrong?
Husband cheated while I was pregnant and I don't know what to do. In the morning, my phone lit up with messages that shattered my world. It was from the woman my husband had been seeing. She sent me screenshots of their affair, and on top of that, she wrote, "Happy fucking pregnancy." My heart sank. I woke him up immediately and he broke down crying, swearing to God that it was over, but the damage was already done. The man I thought I knew, the person I trusted with my whole life, suddenly felt like a stranger in my own home. I'm over 7 weeks pregnant, and instead of feeling joy, I feel this crushing weight of betrayal. We hadn't even told our families about the baby yet, but now he has rushed to tell everyone, using my pregnancy as leverage to pressure me into staying. All weekend, he has been sobbing, begging, clinging to me. He makes me feel like the villain for even considering walking away. But how do I stay with someone who shattered my trust in such a cruel way? Every time I look at him, I see the lies, the secrets, the nights he spent with her instead of me. I told him straight to his face that I want a clean cut. I told him maybe he should go and build a life with her. Maybe she can give him the babies he wants so badly. But me? I refuse to be tied to this betrayal for the rest of my life. I don't want to carry his lies into my future. I want to carry only my child and my strength.